Hi, my name's Mupai and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be taking a look at the radio silence from Gamescom as well as some of the Datamined ammunition types. Firstly, Gamescom. Recently, Gamescom has come and gone, and for the first time in years, we've been left without any gameplay of the upcoming Battlefield title. To put things into perspective, before their release in Q4, we saw gameplay for Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, and Battlefield Bad Company 2 at Gamescom. I think myself and a lot of other players are becoming increasingly anxious after not seeing any further gameplay footage and not having any set beta dates with the game coming out in less than 2 months. In a tweet from an EA dev, he talks about his experience with an internal test and mentions the upcoming open beta. People were obviously really keen to hear an EA dev talk about the upcoming beta dates, but unfortunately we've not heard a whole lot else. So the time frame for release is as follows. The game releases in about 7 weeks, with the 15th of October early release date. In Battlefield 5, the open beta lasted 5 days, with users who pre-order getting an extra 2 days early access. I assume something similar will happen with 2042, but with only 7 weeks remaining, at what point does this beta turn it into a demo of the game instead? How long will the devs need to fix any issues uncovered when the floodgates open for their large-scale stress test? With Battlefield 5, there was a 2-month gap between the end of the beta and the actual release of the game. Now, we're 7 weeks until 2042 is released and we don't even know when the beta dates are. I feel that people are rightly concerned that we know so little information about the upcoming playtests, and I personally wouldn't be surprised if the game was delayed. Now, would that suck? I mean, of course it would. But if the alternative is to play a buggy mess which resulted in a poor user experience, then I'm all for it. Battlefield games have typically released in a somewhat unfinished condition, with in some instances game-breaking bugs. Like for example, when Battlefield 4 was released, if you brought the tower down in the Siege of Shanghai map, it would crash the server. Now, is it realistic to expect a bug-free release? Definitely not, but I think it's important for EA to manage the expectations of their stakeholders with relevant communications. So if we don't see any comms in the coming week, I'd be very concerned about the October release date being pushed back. But with that out of the way, let's get on to some information related to some Datamined content related to ammunition. Last video, I took a look at some of the weapon pickups and sidearms that'll likely be available in 2042. If you'd not seen it, I'd definitely recommend checking out because I look at guns like the minigun. Now, data miners have also since posted additional information related to the ammo types we'll likely see. Now, the first of these we'll take a look at is the light, medium, and heavy ammunition types. Now, does this correspond with specific ammo types for classes of weapons? Previously in Battlefield 5, if you killed an enemy, they dropped ammo and it would resupply the ammo in your primary and secondary. Is this no longer going to be the case? Does light correspond with sidearms and SMGs, medium correspond with assault rifles, and heavy correspond with snipers and machine guns? Now, if this was the case, then Battlefield would be taking one step away from its current arcadey nature and one step closer to that of a more realistic first-person shooter, which doesn't really seem to fit the gameplay we've currently seen. Additionally, another potential consideration for all of these ammo types is that the light ammo travels at a high velocity but has a lower stopping power, and then heavy ammo travels with a lower velocity but has a higher stopping power. Again, I'm not so sure that's a reasonable explanation of what we'll likely see, but I guess we'll see in the coming months. Now, some of the interesting ammo types are the subsonic, incendiary, explosive, AP, and ranged ammo types. Now, last time I checked, all ammo being fired out of a gun was ranged, so I'm not sure if the range subset will just be a better function over longer ranges, but I guess we'll see. The ammo types I'm a little bit concerned about are the incendiary and explosive ammo types. Presumably, incendiary ammo will have a reduced impact damage but will apply a fire DOT effect. And in a similar fashion, for the explosive ammo, I assume will have a reduced impact damage but will have an AoE effect. Now, I don't think these types of ammo are going to be particularly healthy for the balance of the game and the guns, but I wouldn't be surprised if these ammo types were only available on a selection of weapons rather than all of them. Additionally, you have the subsonic rounds, which are specifically designed to travel with a lower velocity than the speed of sound. This is to avoid the loud crack sound of a typical supersonic bullet, which obviously directly corresponds with the loudness of the shot. This is typically bundled with a suppressor to further reduce the sound heard to the operation of the weapon. It'll be interesting to see the general application of this ammunition type, but because of its lower velocity, I wonder how effective it'll be compared to other high velocity weapons. Now finally, you have the armor-piercing rounds, and I assume these are largely reserved for sniper rifles and other high-caliber capable weaponry, with the intention of providing some anti-vehicle capacity. Now interestingly, for the shotgun ammo types, we've got 4 different classifications of buckshot. It seems somewhat counterintuitive to offer so many different iterations of the same sort of ammunition type, so I wouldn't be surprised if all these iterations didn't make it into the final release of the game. And finally, you've got slug and fletchet rounds. They're both more so designed for extended range engagements with shotguns when compared to buckshot, but the slug rounds are basically one large round, meaning no spread, where the fletchets are basically a whole lot of little darts packed into a shotgun shell. Both are effective at range, but the fletchet is better suited to medium range engagements. But that covers it for today though. We've covered my concern with the lack of 2042 information at Gamescom, and taken a look at some of the Datamined ammo types likely to be included in the full release of the game. But what are your thoughts? Are you concerned about the game not being released on time? Or what about the inclusion of incendiary and explosive ammo? Let me know in the comments. Now feel free to come and check me out on Twitch, link is in the description, and whatever the case, that'll be me for now, so I'll see you again next time. Bye.